Welcome back to the Kaspa Silver YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be continuing part 2 of a deeper look at Kaspa. If you guys have not seen that video, the link will be down in the comment section down below. If you guys are new around here, please consider leaving a like on the video after watching it and also subscribing to the channel. We're keeping it real for you and giving serious education and opinion on Kaspa. So, just a quick recap of last week's video. We are basically going over all the protocols that Jonathan Sombliniski was a part of, which is the founder of Kaspa. It all started with the Ghost protocol, which happened back in 2013, and we could see that it was proposed for Bitcoin and never got implemented, and eventually it was seen in the white paper of Ethereum, but essentially it was a modified version of it. And we basically concluded that the Ghost protocol, without this, a lot of cryptocurrencies would not even exist. There's other coins that actually used it, and it's in quotation marks because they either are not using it no longer or they needed it to start the cryptocurrency so that it can continue. This then went on to the Spectre protocol, which was a fork of Ghost, happened in 2016. This introduced more complexities and new security issues, but again solved a lot of problems. This then introduced us to DAGs, and I was able to get into the difference between a DAG and a block DAG when you're comparing it to Kaspa. We also looked at other cryptocurrencies such as Nano and IOTA, and we talked about the problems with those, and then how Kaspa comes into the picture as being the first proof of work block DAG. And now let's get into part 2, where we're talking about the protocols that Kaspa is currently using right now, and then also a future protocol that's going to be coming very, very soon. And so to start, we're going to start with Phantom Ghost DAG protocol. The link right here does go into the white paper, and as you can see, it's a very detailed white paper. Again, I like to show this because this stuff is not another meme coin, another just coin to just put your money in and hope it goes up and then sell it later. No, this is actually a coin that's being built to be here for decades to come, as it solves the crypto trilemma. So that's exactly what it's doing here. Right now, Kaspa is using the Phantom Ghost DAG protocol. It was made by Jonathan, Shai, and Aviv in 2021. It was finished. It was a continuation of the Phantom protocol that was made in 2018. When I look at the history of this, basically, if you look at this protocol, it goes into the Phantom protocol, which was originally what this protocol was doing, but then it continued on and became the Phantom Ghost DAG protocol as it went ahead and solved different things, because the Phantom protocol was not able to be put into practice on a cryptocurrency. So what does it solve? Again, it solves the trilemma. If you don't know what the trilemma is, that is basically when it comes to crypto, there are 3 things that crypto is always trying to solve. And every time they're trying to solve these 3 things, it usually has to sacrifice one of the 3 things to solve the other 2. So this comes down to security, decentralization, and scalability. When you're looking at Bitcoin, Bitcoin solves the security issues and the decentralization issues, but again, it has to sacrifice scalability. Kaspa is coming here to solve all 3 issues, and the biggest one is remaining proof of work and actually having scalability. Most cryptos that want to have scalability have to transition to a proof of stake cryptocurrency. I like to also mention that these protocols can only work on a proof of work cryptocurrency. And that is because it has blocks. It needs blocks so that a block DAG could exist. So one of the things that the Ghost DAG protocol actually allows is orphan blocks to no longer exist. If we take a look at this link here and we ask the question, what are orphan blocks? Orphan blocks is a block that has been solved within the blockchain network, but was not accepted by the network. There could be 2 miners who solve valid blocks simultaneously. The network uses both blocks until one chain has more verified blocks. So basically, an orphan block happens when 2 miners mine a block simultaneously, and then one block gets accepted, the other block does not get accepted, and then that block becomes an orphan block. Now, the problem with orphan blocks in a network such as Bitcoin is that it involves bringing in new security issues and also slows down the network. So that the security issues won't be a problem, Bitcoin has to be slower. And if we look here a little bit more detail, if you use Bard, which is like a type of chat GPT, but actually updates to the current year instead of staying stuck in 2021 like ChatGPT does, you could take a look at exactly what orphan blocks do here. So basically, the pros to orphan blocks is that it increases security. So if we do not orphan blocks like Kaspa does, it increases our security, it improves scalability, and it increases transparency. And I want to mention that orphan blocks can make it difficult to track the history of transaction on a blockchain network. By not orphaning blocks, the history of transactions can be easily tracked, which can increase transparency and accountability. And this is exactly what Kaspa does. But okay, of course, there's always drawbacks to this. So it increases storage requirements and then increases bandwidth requirements. Now, when it comes to storage requirements, Kaspa currently only stores about 3 days of the history of the block network, and this will change as we progress into the Rust coding and also the DAG protocol. The Rust coding is going to increase our blocks per second and also our transactions per second from 1 block per second. The final goal is to reach 100 blocks per second, but I'm pretty sure this will require DAG in the future, as we're going to get into that slowly here. Now, what are the issues of orphaning blocks? So if we take a look further down here, orphaning blocks can have a number of negative consequences for a blockchain network. So it says reduce security, and then reduce efficiency and reduce user experience. And this is what Bitcoin has, and Kaspa has solved the issue with orphaning blocks. So if we continue here, what else does it solve? Again, the security aspect of it. So if you look at the previous video we talked about Nano with it having its spamming attacks. And then also we talked a little bit about IOTA's protocol, which is Tangled, and they have some security issues which required IOTA to actually implement centralization aspect, because they needed centralized consensus validators to make sure that the security wasn't going to be compromised. But IOTA is currently trying to solve this so that they no longer have to use this centralization aspect. But again, IOTA launches as a cryptocurrency that doesn't solve these things on the get-go. They still are working to try to solve these things. Kaspa launches with the trilemma already solved. So again, it has very low latency than traditional blockchains like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 10 minutes per block and Kaspa is 1 block per second. And then because of the Ghost Stack protocol, it allows us to actually scale on layer 1. A lot of Bitcoiners like to say that scalability starts with layer 2 and beyond, but Kaspa is here solving the crypto trilemma and allowing it to be scalable on the first layer. And then its drawbacks, as always, as all these protocols have, they're very complex protocols. They're not very easy to understand. I mean, if you look at this white paper, a lot of this stuff goes over my head, and I'm trying to explain this as much as I can understand it, so that I believe if I understand it in some kind of way, my viewers should too, because I do not have a huge background when it comes to crypto protocols like this. But again, it needs more testing. It is being put into practice on the Kaspa network, but we are seeing it being put to the test and seeing if it actually works. And for the past year, it has. Kaspa has not had any issues or problems. It's remaining fast. It hasn't had an increase in the wait times for transactions or anything like that. But then again, there's still work to be done, and Jonathan still wants to finish Kaspa fully by introducing the DAG protocol. Now, this is a protocol that you could see right here. And basically, it goes into deep detail about what it's trying to do and solve. And then if you want to see all the proof works of the security aspect of it, here are all of the proof of showing why it is secure. And you could see that it's very detailed math. And to be honest, in my opinion, the fact that it's not easy to understand is a very good thing, because it means it is an innovation. This is something new. And this is why I think Kaspa is going to revolutionize the crypto space, and why it is probably one of the best cryptos to be taking a look at right now. So this was made by Jonathan and Michael in 2023. It is not yet put into practice. What does it solve though? So the Ghost Stack protocol does solve security issues when it comes to attacks like less than 50% attacks, which are basically when one central entity has most of the hash power, more than 50% of the hash power. And DAG actually solves 51% attacks, and then it's even faster than Ghostag, as if we needed it at this point, because Ghostag is already super fast, but Dag Knight is going to be even faster. And essentially what it does is it removes the K within Ghostag. Now, if you want a deeper look into Ghostag protocol and understanding what the K is deeper, you could take a look at the Kaspa Ghostag 101, which is a link that is on this document. And I will be putting this document down below because it is finished now. And so you could take a look at the link for that and watch that. It's like a 2-hour video that goes even deeper into Ghostag. And I'm over here trying to narrow it down and break it down into a much smaller video. But it's just very hard because there's just so many things that happen in the back end. Again, I'm going to use Bard, and of course Bard is not going to be fully completely accurate, but this is what it says if you were to look up Bard on Bard, what exactly the K is in the Dag Knight protocol and what it's actually taking out. So the K in the Phantom Ghostag protocol here says the K parameter in the Phantom Ghostag protocol determines how many blocks can be created concurrently without being considered orphaned. Orphan blocks are blocks that are not referenced by any other blocks in the DAG. If too many blocks are created concurrently, it can become difficult to determine which blocks are valid and which are not. The K parameter helps to prevent this by limiting the number of blocks that can be created concurrently. So essentially, from watching other videos of how Jonathan explains it, in all protocols, every protocol has to assume something about the network. It has to assume the speeds and the transaction times and the latency of the network. But with the Dag Knight protocol, it removes this K parameter and no longer needs to assume anything for the protocol, which then could allow us to scale and increase speed and scalability because of this protocol no longer needs to assume basically what the Ghostag protocol has to assume. Now that's probably the basic way I can explain it without going into detail and what my brain can wrap around. But again, this is a lot more deeper stuff and it's not very easy to explain. And what is its drawbacks? Again, complexity, and then again, it's not put into practice yet. This is a future protocol that is coming. It did come out in 2023 this year, so it's currently being worked on by Michael and Jonathan, and that right now is going to be coming later down the road. We could take a look over here at the Kaspa homepage and see the developments to actually see where we're at when it comes to these different things. So the Ghostag protocol is done. And then basically what we're trying to work on right now is changing the coding that Kaspa is running on, which is the Golang coding, to then change to Rust. Rust will allow us to eventually achieve 100 blocks per second in the very near future. Could probably take even longer than that. And then ultimately, you could see here that smart contracts are going to be put in the work, and it's a plan for Kaspa to have that. And then the Dag Knight publication has finally been done, but actually putting Dag Knight to the test on Kaspa is still in development, and it is basically going to be implemented in the future. But this is it's going to be a new consensus protocol, so it's not going to be easy to implement, as we need developers to come to Kaspa and understand it. So the only way to bring adoption to Kaspa is to explain it, in my opinion, on a deeper level. It involves not just simply saying that Kaspa is going to make you a millionaire overnight, or Kaspa is going to go to the moon. I think that is not the best way how our community should explain Kaspa to other people. We should actually explain it on a deeper level, and that's exactly what this channel is doing, because that is the only way how we're going to convince other people who are invested into these other cryptocurrencies that are technically just not solving anything and are just companies who are being funded by their own coin allocations, and people are just being dumped on every single bull market. You know, it's just going to keep happening. But Kaspa is here actually solving the crypto trilemma. It's already done that, and it's just going to continue improving on it. And this took many years to complete. Jonathan goes back all the way to 2013. And now we're here in 2023, and Jonathan has made his own cryptocurrency. In my opinion, it's a no-brainer. Why not just at least take a look at it? So, to conclude, Kaspa is an innovative cryptocurrency. It's very new, and it's going to involve a lot of risks. The risk involve the fact that these protocols are very complex. It's not going to be easy to implement any of this stuff, and we're going to be lacking developers in this space for a while. Now, when it comes to an investment decision, again, it's going to be risky because of those issues. And I recommend that you really keep learning and understanding Kaspa, because on this channel, that's where we're always going to be doing, going deeper and deeper into Kaspa, learning the behind the scenes, what's under the hood about it, and also comparing it to all other cryptocurrencies and showing why this is the better alternative to Bitcoin. This is the better alternative to other cryptocurrencies. But personally, I invest only in Kaspa and Bitcoin because Bitcoin has its own use case, and that is a store of value. But the problem with that is the fact that Bitcoin had to reject its original use case, which was a true electronic cash system, and become a store of value. And Kaspa is trying to finish what Bitcoin started, and that is to be a true electronic cash system, or in other words, a digital silver in the space. So I hope you guys enjoyed this two-part video. I wanted to make it into two parts because I knew the last two protocols were going to go a little bit more deeper and involve a little bit more explanation. But I hope you guys learned a lot from this. If you guys are new around here, please leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel. And as always, don't be average, be different.